Hey, Houston, this is Charlie Bolden. How do you read? Houston, this is Charlie Bolden. How do you read?
Clear. Welcome aboard the International Space Station.
Hey, Butch, how you doing?
We're doing great, sir. How about y'all?
Okay, I'm glad we didn't go through all the protocols and everything, but what I'm going to ask you to do, Butch, is introduce yourself and the rest of your crew members there. Samantha, it's great to see you. This is the first time I've had a chance to talk to you. We have a group of school students down here from elementary all the way up through high school. Any college students? No. And they really are anxious to ask you some questions, so I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself and your crew, and then we'll get right into the questions, if that's okay with you. And tell us a little bit about what's going on today.
Outstanding, General. Yeah, absolutely. I'm Navy Captain Barry Wilmore, call sign Butch. That's why he keeps calling me Butch. And I've been up here for 4 months. I launched on a Soyuz 40S and was joined by these folks right here a couple of months ago. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
I'm Air Force Colonel Terry Virts, and I launched in November with Samantha on Soyuz 41S from Baikonur in Kazakhstan. We've been here for about 2 months, and we've been very busy doing a lot of experiments and science, and also getting maintenance done, keeping the space station in working order.
And I'm Italian Air Force Captain Samantha Cristoforetti, and of course I came here about 2 months ago with Terry, and same as Terry, I'm enjoying my time up here, doing a lot of science, doing all kinds of interesting scientific research, and enjoying floating a lot.
Great. Well, Terry, Butch, Samantha, I'm now going to turn it over to the
somebody's got a question.
We do, and here they come. And you can step right out here. They can't see you, unfortunately.
My name is Latrice, and is life in space hard or is it easy?
Is life in space hard or is it easy? Well, it depends on what you're doing. Some things are, I would say nothing's hard. We're very, very well trained, prepared well for all different aspects, the launching, the different science and protocols and things that we do, maintenance that we do on board station, of course the re-entry as well. When we come back on the Russian Soyuz, we're very, very well trained, but days are long, and sometimes they're filled with many different tasks. So if anything hard about it, that would be it. Just keeping mentally tied in all the time can be very trying on your mind. But what a great environment. What a great place to work. I mean, you can flip upside down in a heartbeat. The floor is the ceiling is the floor. There is no up or down. And like Samantha said when we started, it is a fabulous time, and it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
My name is Connie, and I go to Murray Elementary. What is your favorite thing in space?
That's a great question, and as you can see, it's so cool floating. You can go on the ceiling, you can go on the walls. It doesn't matter which direction you are. You can just readapt. And after you've been here for a few weeks, you really get used to floating and being weightless. And it's really fun to be able to move around and just kind of, with no effort, flip yourself over like that. And for me, that's probably my favorite thing that we get to do up here.
Hello, I'm Carrie Mullins. What did you have to do to become an astronaut?
Well, there's different paths to become an astronaut. Some astronauts are military pilots. Most of them are also test pilots. Some astronauts are scientists or engineers, and a lot of astronauts have mixed backgrounds, like they are pilots, but they also have a background in science or engineering. Or medicine. You can also study medicine. We have also doctors among our fellow astronauts. So those are main paths. It's important, to work hard in school, to do well. And I like to say it's really important to choose a career, before you become an astronaut that you really love, that you're passionate about, because that's really the key, the secret to being good at what you do. And, when you're good at what you do, then you're also a good candidate for the astronaut program.
Hi, I'm Danny Michaels, and I go to Maury Elementary. Mine's kind of similar to her question. What pushed you all to be astronauts? And how's the weather up there?
Danny, the weather is always clear, so that's a good thing. What pushed me to be an astronaut? I think the biggest desire I had was to do the best with what the attributes that the good Lord gave me, and try to pursue any and everything that I could, and I wound up joining the military, had a patriotic tug, and as I was in the military, was able to fly, had that opportunity, went to flight school, and once I got my wings of gold, my Navy wings of gold, there was no higher place you could fly or faster to fly than on the space shuttle. So that set that as a goal out there, and thought maybe one day that might be an opportunity. And eventually in 2009, I was able to do that, fly the space shuttle, and then recently, like we just said, 4 months ago, launched on a Russian Soyuz, and here we are now. So I'm very grateful for all the opportunities. It's certainly not ourselves, it's many people involved that actually get us to this point. So grateful to my family and all of them as well.
Thanks a lot.
Hello, my name is Charlotte Basso, and I go to Watkins Elementary. I was just wondering, how do you move around in an anti-gravity environment?
Hi, Charlotte. Like we were demonstrating before, that is something that you kind of need to learn how to do, and you have to learn quick, because as soon as the rocket's engines shut down a few minutes after launch, you're weightless, and you don't have time to learn how to walk. You just have to do it. But it takes a little bit of getting used to, but we've been here for long enough that we know how to move. You have to move very slowly at first, and if you push just with a little bit of force, I don't know if you can see my finger here, but I'll push on Samantha's shoulders, and you start moving. So you have to control how much pushing and pulling you do, otherwise you'll go flying into the wall and hit your head on something. So you got to be careful, but it's really fun, and it's something that the humans can really learn how to do and adapt to. Hey, I have a question for you guys. Anybody go to Maryland schools there? I grew up in Maryland. I went to school in Prince George's County and Columbia, Howard County.
You got a
public
bunch
schools.
of hands going up there, Terry. What school?
I hear some clapping.
You're going to ask a question. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Labrea from Western High
I went to
School.
Fort McHenry Elementary. I asked a question. I went to Fort McHenry Elementary in Lanham and Oakland Mills and Columbia. But I'll let these kids ask some questions. They're more important than mine.
Hello, my name's Labrea. I go to Western High School. My question to y'all is, I heard that y'all 3D printed a tool. How is that going? Did you use it yet?
Yes, we did. We had several things that we printed 3D printer. The 3D printer has now been stashed away, and all of those items that we printed have been bagged up because we're returning them to Earth. They're going to be analyzed, because before they sent that printer up here, they actually printed the same items on Earth that we printed up here, except for one. We printed also a ratchet wrench, and but all those things are going back. I wish I could show them to you. That's not what we printed.
I know, but it's a real one.
Yeah, but yeah, the ratchet wrench we printed was similar to this one, just fairly small, but a ratchet wrench, and it was actually usable. You could actually use it. They wouldn't let us use it. I wanted to, but anyway, those are bagged up and be heading back on the SpaceX, the Dragon capsule that'll be heading back, I think, around the 10th of February. So that's what those are now.
Hi, my name is Robert Golan, and I want to know, how is it like being in a spacesuit when you're outside of your ship or aircraft?
Robert, that is a great question. What's it like being in a spacesuit when you're outside of the ship? You know, Robert, when you get in one of those spacewalking suits, you actually get into a spaceship. It's a one-man spaceship. It's got all the life support. It's got the oxygen that you need. It's got cooling system that circulates cold water so you can stay cool, so you don't get overheated. The only thing it doesn't have inside is food. You can have we have a little water bag, but we don't have any way to take food with us. So we can only stay for certain lengths of time. But it's absolutely fascinating. The view through the visor without having an atmosphere to look through, just the vacuum of space, is so clear. And it's just the thought that when you're outside, we never go out alone. We always send send 2 people out. But you think about it, you're the only 2 people in the entire universe that are doing something like that at that moment. It's a pretty special thing.
Hi, I'm Nandini from the Thomas Jefferson High School, and I was wondering, before you first went out into space, what was the thing that intimidated you the most, and how did you overcome that fear?
Well, I can tell you that the day that I went on the spacewalk, I don't know that there was a lot of fear, but even more so, there was a spacewalk by my 2 comrades, Commander Wiseman, also a Navy commander, and Alex Gerst. They went out on a spacewalk about 9 days before Wiseman and myself went out. And when I suited them up and got them ready, that was the most stressful thing that I have done up here, because their lives were literally in my hands. I had to get their helmets on right. I had to get their maneuvering packs on right. I had to make sure that the depress of the cabin went just according to plan. And that was actually much more of a stress, because it wasn't my life that was at stake. It was theirs. And that's something that's a very detailed process, getting someone out the door. You know, you think when you open the hatch the first time and you go outside, you've already been in the suit for 5 hours, almost 5 hours, even before you open the hatch. And the person that's doing the most work is the one that's getting you ready to go out. And the next spacewalk, if it goes as planned, Colonel Virts and I are going to go out, and Samantha's going to have that task. And I tell you what, I don't envy her, because it is a very detailed, very important, vitally important thing to do.
Hello, I'm Kelton, and what was this a job you wanted ever since you were a kid, or as you got older, was this something you wanted to do?
I never said.
Hey, that's a great question, thanks. Actually, when I was very young in elementary school still, I don't think I was 8 years old yet, I already told people, adults and teachers, that when I grew up I wanted to go to space. And of course I didn't have an exact idea of what it means to be an astronaut back then, but as I grew up and I had a better idea, this thought of becoming an astronaut and going to space actually attracted me more and more. And then I was fortunate enough that growing up I developed mature interests for science and technology and for flying. And guess what? Those are the things that can lead you to becoming an astronaut. So it all came together wonderfully for me. And you know, it's just the best thing that I could possibly imagine doing. So I'm very, very happy.
My name is Nicole Fogel, and what do you think the first thing you're going to do when you get back to Earth?
Well, that's a good question. Samantha and I are going to land together in the same Soyuz along with our Russian friend Anton Shkaplerov. And Samantha and I are going to get on an airplane with a NASA crew of folks, and we're going to come directly back to Houston. But I think one of the first things that I'll probably want to do is get a shower when we finally get to a shower. There's no showers up here, although we have towels, and basically you take a hot water, put it in a towel, and that's kind of your shower for 6 months. And it's actually pretty good. We can stay pretty clean and stuff, but that's one thing I'm looking forward to doing. Hey, Butch has a demo here. He's going to show you a little bit of physics in space.
Yeah, I wanted to show y'all this. This is just an iPad. Y'all are very familiar with this. Notice how it's almost twice as wide as it is long, or twice as long as it is wide. So because of that, because of the momentum and how that affects it, if I flip it just right, it will flip twice, and then it will roll the next time, and it'll keep doing that. So let's see what happens.
There goes the roll. It flips a couple times and then it rolls over. So when you guys take physics class, your physics instructors can explain mass moments of inertia, and it's cool being in space because you can actually see it in action.
There you go. Thank you. You can go ahead.
Hello, my name is Jadzia Murphy from Cardozo Education Campus, and I was wondering what kind of work or research are you three doing currently up in space?
Well, it's actually been really interesting. We just had this cargo vehicle arrive with a lot of science on board, and so we've all been busy all day, every day, even on the weekends we were doing science. I'm doing material science right now where they're measuring how materials, as they cool, how they become coarse, and how the molecules inside these melted liquids, as they solidify, how they change. We have a plant experiment in the Columbus module, in the European module down the way there. That's really cool. It's got this big pink light, so at nighttime when you turn all the lights off, the whole station is glowing pink. And we grew some plants. I think today Butch harvested some plants. Samantha was working with fruit flies. We had an experiment of fruit flies. This past weekend I was taking these little worms called C. elegans, and we fed them some bacteria, Salmonella and E. coli. So they were happy at first to eat them, but these are obviously things that make you sick. So they're studying how the immune system on the worms are affected by the disease, and hopefully that can help us out on Earth. So the last few days has been a lot of different science that we've been doing. It's been pretty interesting.
My name is Liliana Scott, and I am homeschooled, and my question is, what do you do for fun to pass time in space?
I think most of us really enjoy taking pictures, spending time in the cupola. This is this magnificent window on the Earth we have. We see the Earth from horizon to horizon, so we actually see very well the curvature of the Earth. And of course, we can also see the skies above the horizon. For example, yesterday, Terry and I were hunting for Comet Lovejoy, which is visible from Earth as well. I think it will still be visible for a few weeks, so you can come and hunt for the comet yourself. So we enjoyed doing that last night. I enjoy immensely finding places on Earth that maybe have a special significance, or that just speak to me because of their geography and they're so interesting. Or, you know, most of the time it's just incredible beauty. I mean, it's an ever-changing colors and shapes and place of shade and light and the sun glint and clouds and, you know, a desert and ocean and mountains and plains and snow. It's just an incredible infinite variety that no artist could possibly come up with, and it's just very, very beautiful.
What are you doing there, Terry? You and what's Butch doing?
Actually, he said he could see you guys. He's showing them one of the cameras we use for taking pictures of the Earth. And recently, the lab window has been free. We've been able to take pictures in here. Normally, it's got a payload in there, but so we've got these big, giant, they're almost telescopes here, taking pictures of the Earth.
My name is Katie Quinn, and I was wondering, what's the coolest thing to look at in space?
You know, Katie, man, that is hard to pick the number one thing, because so many things are cool, and every day it's like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. You're seeing creation from the heavens. It's awesome. But for me, I think auroras. Being from Maryland, we don't see a lot of auroras down there around the nation's capital, and the view you get from here is amazing. You can see them with the naked eye. When you see pictures of them, they're even more magnified, but that is a pretty amazing thing.
Hey, Butch, Terry, and Samantha, I really want to thank you all for the time you gave us today. It was absolutely incredible for these kids. They're telling me you all have to go back to work. So thanks again. Hopefully I will get a chance to talk to you again in a few days. Take care.
All right, super. Thank you, General. Hello to everyone. Y'all have a great day. Have a great time.
And thanks very much, Houston.